So in class, we talk a lot about communication, but recently we've talked a lot about communication as strategic control. And in the book specifically, we talk about strategic control's perspective regarding communication as a tool for influencing and shaping one's environment. And it recognizes that due to personal, relational, and political factors, greater clarity is not always the main goal in certain interactions. And then strategic control perspectives sees communicators as always having multiple goals. And for me, I have certain goals for basketball, and I have different goals. I have basketball than I have for school, as of like getting good grades or making the honor roll. For basketball, it's like making an All-American or scoring a certain amount of points a game. But for class, I guess specifically for you, what do you do for work and your job, I guess?
My job title is a clinical nurse specialist. I'm an advanced practice nurse.
Okay, and then what do you do for work specifically?
I have 2 units in the Brain and Spine Hospital that are neuro, ortho, stroke, and my job is to oversee all of the quality and education of the patients and the staff.
So what goals do you have for yourself through work at Ohio State?
My goals would be just that I can help educate and help the staff know how to appropriately take care of our patients so our outcomes um, are better for our patient populations and they can hopefully go home um, as good as they came in, if not better.
Okay. So as you know, this summer I worked at Topgolf, and we had some communication breakdowns as well as obviously a lot of people do through work. But specifically at Topgolf, we had a lot of times I was as a food runner bringing food to the wrong table or even bringing food to the wrong floor was a bad communication error, and sometimes we'd even bring the wrong food to the tables. So this is a miscommunication between the kitchen, the bay host, which is the servers and the waiters, and us food runners who run the food. So we had to set goals with our managers to make sure that we pay more attention so it doesn't happen next time, be more precise, so that we're all on the same page and we don't miscommunicate. So my question to you, it's kind of similar, is what kind of ethical dilemmas has been in the workplace and how have you handled it?
So one of our biggest things is communication. We can really drill down to anything that happens to a patient, any kind of bad outcome, or just error in the medical field is because of communication. So our goal is to always eliminate errors, human error, as much as we can. Um, One thing that we really concentrate on is patient falls. We know patients will fall when they come in the hospital if we don't prevent them because they're pretty sick. They fall all the time at home. So one way we do that is for what we call a handoff. In the medical field, we call everything a handoff. So even if it's between physician to physician or nurse to nurse or nurse to, we use a lot of unlicensed personnel, which is our what we call in our Ohio State PCAs. Handoff is the ultimate way to try to communicate and make sure that everybody knows what our plan is and how to prevent things. So falls are a good example. We want to prevent falls, but if a patient does fall, we will all gather in front of the patient and the family and have what we call a huddle that everybody communicates as to maybe what we thought happened, why it happened, and how we're going to prevent it. And then the expectation would be that every time anybody changes as far as a shift or just whatever, that we would hand that information off again. We would concentrate on the safety and make sure that all the interventions that we said we needed to do, bed exit alarms, non-slip socks, close to the station, 2 people assist, whatever that is, that everybody is aware of that so that we constantly are doing that and that we don't allow the patient to fall again.
So for the miscommunication, is it generally the RN's fault, or is it a combination of the both you, the managers, the people around you?
I think it's a combination usually. For me, I don't do patient care. My job is to investigate all of the falls and try to make the process better. And again, communication is usually the one thing I concentrate on. Why did we not pass the information along, and how can we make sure we pass the information along It's not usually it's not one person's fault. It's a process usually, and again, communication. So as long as everybody knows, including the patient, um, what our goals are and how we're going to accomplish that to keep them safe, then usually that works. And we have decreased our falls this year by a lot of efforts that to make everybody know what we're doing to prevent them.
Okay. So, but obviously, I mean, nursing, hospitals offers and needs a lot of communication, so everyone's on the same page, so people can stay alive and whatnot. But do you find yourself using communication as a strategic control through like
Yeah.
the perspective of others and your employees?
Yeah, I mean, every task I have, like working with my other peers, teaching education classes, all of us have a piece in it. It's the communication that who's going to do what, when, close the loop on that communication and make sure that everybody knows what they're doing so that it all comes together and we finish it. I'm working on a competency right now for all my staff, and it takes more than me to do it, so we all have a part of it. The educators and the leaders and the RNs that are helping me. So we just have to communicate and make sure everybody's on the same page.
Okay. Well, thank you for letting me interview you. I appreciate it.
All right.
Bye, Mom.
Bye.
Love you.
Love you.